Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Let's get started. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to easily insert drum fills into your pocket operator arrangements without sacrificing anything other than a spare pattern. So when I actually get into this concept, it's going to seem so simple. We're literally just going to copy and paste a pattern and change the drum part. But when I watch people create their pocket operator tracks, so many folks go about this the wrong way. They will open a completely new track and come up with the drum part and then resequence everything else. And it just seems like a lot of extra work. So if you want to speed up your workflow, check out this video. It's really quite common sense, and once you figure it out, it's kind of like, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? So first we're going to need to come up with a pattern here. We've got the PO20 arcade, but of course this will work with any of the pocket operators. Let's get a kick. We'll go like doom doo doo da doo 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 da. Cool. Let's get a snare. 2 and 4. Hi-hat. Nice and easy. Let's go ahead, and it looks like we're already on D minor. Make sure there's no chord chain. Let's go ahead and put a bass in there now. We'll just go like doom 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 doom. Let's change this last one up here. Drop it down. There we go. So let's pretend that this is the last pattern in like a 4-measure phrase that we're going for, and we want to use this pattern again sometime in the song. And or we've already used it sometime in the song, and we want to change it up. We want to have a fill in there. So all we need to do is copy it. So we're going to make sure we've got the right pattern selected. We're going to hold right pattern and then click where we want to paste it. I've got it in slot 13. Let's put it in slot 14. Make sure you're on slot 14. And now we can just change the drum part. It's really that easy. So let's get our snare drum. Let's go do do go da do do da 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 da. So we're gonna hit right mode on, da 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 da, and we're gonna make this one. Let's do that a double trigger. Cool. And let's put this sound right there on 4 as well. Awesome, just gives it a little more punch. And now we can go in and remove the hi-hat from these steps here, the steps where the snare drum is, because we're gonna pretend it's a real drummer playing it, and it'll be way more believable if we take the hi-hat off when the snare drum's going. Awesome, and it's really that easy. So instead of writing out a whole 4-phrase pattern ending with a drum fill, you can just go 3 times on this first pattern and then 1 time on the last one. Here comes our fill. And with the arcade, this can get even better, because if we keep that same chain, we can come up with a chord progression real quick here. So we can go like, let's go E minor, D minor, and I think C is 15, yep. So C, and then back to D minor. Now let's listen. We can hear that fill. And because of how the arcade uses the chord chain feature, if we don't want that fill, we can just chain the first pattern 4 times. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to have 1 time through with the fill, 1 time through without it. No fill. then it repeats. And of course, we did all of this just using 2 patterns. So especially with the arcade, but with any of the pocket operators, I feel a lot of people are using too many patterns to achieve pretty simple results that can be done with just 1, 2, or 3 patterns. And of course, we can also add effects to change things up. This really works when performing in real time. So there was the fill. Second time through, we're going to use effect 15. Easy as that. Cool. So you can tell that there is a lot you can get done with any pocket operator just using a couple patterns. It really is that easy. You just kind of have to think of it as its own phrase and its own group inside a larger phrase, if that makes sense. I'm sure I'm not explaining that as eloquently as I could, but that's really all there is to it. And like I said, we only used 2 patterns there. So if we wanted to add some melody in there, we can copy our first pattern 4 times, and now let's chain these 4 patterns here, and let's play a melody in real time. And now we'll go in and edit this sound here, and make sure write mode is on. So we'll go E, G, E. And then we'll just continue to work on this really quick. Might not sound the best, but that's okay because I'm just kind of winging it. And as we edit these here, this trick also works for melodies, but more specifically on the PO20 because of how the chord chain feature works. So you can have the same pattern just keep repeating and the chords will change under it. And we can go over that in just a minute too. Told you it wouldn't be good. All right, let's chain all 4 of these here. So now what if we want to fill at the end of this? So we can go to pattern 4, our 4th pattern. So we're going to copy this pattern. Let's put it in slot 5, and let's put a drum fill in this one. Maybe something a little different. Maybe we just want to go straight 16ths the whole way through. Let's get the kick out of there. And let's get the hi-hat out of there. So now let's chain these. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. But the last one is the new pattern with the fill. Let's listen. And then it repeats. And the cool thing about that is, once again, we have all that music. We only used 5 patterns, and these can all be reused for another verse. And if we want a different ending with a different drum fill, we just need to copy the last pattern again, say into slot 6, and make a new drum fill. So we have all this variance that we're getting out of just a few patterns. Even with all the patterns we've used right now, 7 of them, that's not even half of the patterns available to you on any of the pocket operators. Really quick though, before we wrap things up, I said I'd talk about it, so let's go to just pattern 1 with this really basic melody here. And we're just going to let the chord chain play out over the top of just this one pattern. So all of this that you're hearing right now is only going to use one pattern. How cool is that? So because the chords change underneath, it kind of distracts the listener, takes attention away from the fact that the melody is the same every time. Also, depending on the chord changes that you use on the PO20, it can actually change the notes. There are a couple of ones that will go sharp or flat depending on what chords you've got selected. I'm just going E minor, D minor, C major, D minor, so it's not going to change. But let me show you one final trick here. Let's go 3 times on that pattern we just heard, and then 1 time on the pattern we made with the drum fill. Let's listen to this. So that right there was done, that whole sequence was done just using 2 patterns, just pattern number 1 and pattern number 5. So there is a ton that you can squeeze out of these little amazing pocket operators. You just have to learn to work around the limitations of the pocket operators and treat each pattern like its own invaluable resource, because you only get 16 of them. But as you've seen in this video, you can use just 2 of them to make a lot of music. You can get some really nice, long, extended tracks with quite a bit of variance, as long as you keep these concepts in mind when you're composing on the PO20 or any of the pocket operators. So if you guys found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can leave a dislike, that's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. Thanks for being here, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Bye.